Hey, this is Troy from Planet 76. We've got some really good Sixers-focused content coming your way today. Make sure you subscribe to the pod so you can be in the know when we release new content. Enjoy the show. Welcome in, Sixers fans, to another episode of Planet 76, episode 108. We are now in single digits away from the Sixers 2023-2024 regular season beginning next Thursday. We're recording late night, Tuesday the 17th. The regular season is on its way, and we're excited. Today's episode is going to be a lot of fun, highlighting one individual on this team. We said we were going to do it on episode 106 and 7, I think, and we're gonna dedicate a lot of time today talking about Joel Embiid, the 2022-23 NBA MVP, face of the franchise for a number of years now, and so he's going to get an entire full-length episode breaking it down, looking ahead to what this season is going to look like for him, so you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned for the episode in its entirety, and we cover all things Sixers. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returner, we're glad you're back. So please subscribe on whatever platform you're on. Instagram, you can give us a follow. And you can contact us. You're going to want to know why. You're going to write down this email. It's planet76podcast@gmail.com. And Michael's going to tell you why that's important to know, because we got some big news for you as a Planet 76 listener. So what is that, Michael?
Let's run it. So before we say that, though, Troy, I just want to say, the logos you sent me, perfect. I say
Excellent.
We roll with those. And
Okay, deal.
and also, Troy, if you want to overlay these on the screen at any point in the next few seconds, just to see, or just for the viewer, if they're watching on YouTube, can see. But we're going to be doing some giveaways for you guys, some free stuff. Who doesn't love free stuff? The age-old cliche. But we're going to be giving away some free T-shirts and Planet 76 merch. We're going to be doing 5 T-shirt winners. So, if you want a T-shirt, make sure you're subscribed, obviously, to the podcast, whatever platform you're on, and email us, planet76podcast@gmail.com. Just say, hey, I would like a shirt. I'll take a shirt. Something along those lines. If you want a shirt, make sure you're subscribed. Email us, planet76podcast@gmail.com. We're going to announce the winners in the coming weeks. Hopefully we get most of the winners out before the season begins, and we'll have those sent to you guys shortly after that. So again, free T-shirt. You pay nothing. It's free. And Troy, if you want to flash the logo somewhere on the screen so people can see what it'll look like.
Right.
If you want a free T-shirt, subscribe to Planet 76, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything. Follow us on Instagram. And email us, planet76podcast@gmail.com. Say, hey, I want a shirt. Can I please have a shirt? I would like a shirt. Anything along those lines, if you want a shirt, you know what to do.
Easy.
You know what to do. So that's all. And this should be fun. So and shout out to my aunt as well. She's going to be designing the shirts. So cool.
Sweet. Yes,
Nice.
that's really cool. So we're excited to give away some free merch. Hopefully it won't be the last time.
Yes.
Hopefully,
First of
or
many.
maybe there'll be some available for purchase at a later date, but we're going to give out this first sample for free, and all you got to do is email us. Like, that's literally it. So that's pretty simple. Now we're giving out, a handful, but, don't think that if you listen to this episode 7 days from now that you're eliminated. That doesn't mean that. It just means that, the draw that we're picking from is going to be bigger. It's going to be random selection out of, if we get 50 people that email us, well, 5 of those 50 are going to be winners. If we get 10, 5 of them are going to be winners. If we get 5, all 5 of you win. All right.
First come, first serve. So you want a T-shirt?
So gonna be easy. All right. All you got to do is email us. All right. So if you look at Michael right now, if you're watching on YouTube, he's actually wearing
my aunt
similar
made this
merch
as well.
to what we're going to be making. Yeah.
Just nice glimpse of that. And it's going to look similar to this. So basically, if you didn't see the thing that Troy flashed on the screen, it's going to look pretty similar to that. But it's a great design, clean in my opinion, and Planet 76. That's all.
And And it's free.
And it's free. You have to
All
pay
right.
nothing. You get a free shirt. I mean, come on.
I love it. I love it. All right. So, hey, let's cut to the chase. It's the Joel Embiid episode here on episode 108 as we're 9 days away from the regular season. Man, I'll let you lead this off. You came up with some real good content for us to talk about today, and then I will say, little spoiler, at the end of the episode, I did some homework, and I'm going to dive into my personal opinion of Joel Embiid's
Sweet.
top 10 career single-game performances in the regular season, so stick around for that. But, yeah, let's jump in. Where do you want to start with Joel?
I am interested to see your top 10 career performances from him. But obviously we're going to wait till the end. So, big season for the Sixers. We're actually a week, well, I think the Sixers play next Wednesday. We're a week away from the NBA. And I texted Troy before this and I said, you know what? We've been kind of alluding to it. We've been chatting about it. Let's just do a Joel Embiid episode. Not necessarily a prediction or expectation, but kind of just an overview of things that we might see from Embiid, things we'd like to see, things that might really need to happen. We're going to just talk about some of the events that have unfolded the past 2 years, 2.5 years, how they've affected Embiid / Embiid's role in some of those things. So thoughts on Embiid for next season. We've also talked about this quite a bit on the podcast. Production levels, what's his season going to look like? What kind of accolades? Is he going to have a repeat of last year? What's it going to be? And cutting right to the chase, as we've mentioned on the podcast before, Joel Embiid's going to have another big season. There's no secret to that. There's no denying it. There's no hiding from it. Joel Embiid's going to have another prolific, historic year from an individual player standpoint. And obviously, the Sixers stem from Embiid, so what he does, the team follows. So a lot of what the Sixers accomplished this year, again, I'm not giving any spoilers here, it's going to come from Joel Embiid. It's going to have to do a lot with what Embiid does on the floor this year. He's going to have to be great offensively. He's going to have to be great defensively. I think he could have the best defensive season of his career this year, especially under Nick Nurse. In fact, it's something I'd love to see because, like I've said on this podcast many, many times, I think Joel Embiid is one of the 10, 12 best defenders in the NBA. And the past few seasons, he's had to do a lot more offensively, so he hasn't been able to get to that as much. I still think he's that kind of player defensively. I'd love to see him tap into that this year. I think he's going to. I think he could. And with some of the things Nick Nurse has been saying about he's going to have more opportunities to defend the rim, he's going to take more tries, take more swings, I believe, is the phrasing Nick Nurse used when asked about this. But this year, I think it's going to have to be Joel Embiid's best defensive year yet. I don't know what it's going to look like offensively. I'd like to think he is doing more offensively, and Nick Nurse, I believe Patrick Beverley also touched on that. But I'd like this year to be Joel Embiid's best year defensively. He's obviously going to have a great offensive year. The scoring isn't going anywhere. The just overall dominance and threat that he poses to the defense is not going anywhere. I'd really love to see him lock in defensively this year. Really, really dominate the league defensively this year.
Yeah, and that's something I think you've doubled down on over the last couple months. I mean, especially since the hire of Nick Nurse, that's been one thing that you've pointed out multiple times, and it's certainly a hope that we want Joel Embiid to have his best defensive season yet. We know the potential is obviously there; like he's an incredible defender, but the hope is with a new coach that can unlock some different things schematically, around a guy like that. In the middle, it's just going to bode well for not only, Joel Embiid as an individual, but just the team, because Embiid's going to be the anchor. And I'm excited for what Nick Nurse is going to draw up in that regard. So I agree with that. I get the idea that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when we look back on Sports Reference, Basketball Reference, and see Joel Embiid's numbers, and we see that he is a back-to-back scoring champion in the NBA as a center, is just insane. And he might not be done yet, right? He might be going on year 3. We don't know. Or he certainly could get one in a few years. But it really is unreal. It's crazy. And it's for him to average 33 points a game in the NBA is just mind-blowing stuff. So he's just so good. And you're going to hear some of that when I break down some of his games over the last several years in the NBA. But I just wonder what it's going to look like with Nurse. Is he going to average 30? Could he have a better year while he averages 27? Could it just be incredibly efficient, and could it be what you're talking about as, an all-NBA defensive kind of guy? I'm just kind of curious as to what that's gonna be. I do think he'll be in, barring injuries, he'll be in the MVP discussion yet again, where he's been the last several years, finally getting one last season. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Joel. I think he's as hungry as ever. I don't think, getting the one MVP is just him going to be like, all right, well, I got what I wanted. I think he's committed to this team, committed to, trying to stack some W's together and hopefully make a run in the playoffs. So, I think he's certainly got some things still to prove. I think he's still, there's still a lot of talk on, his inability in the playoffs and all of these things. I still think that he's got a chip on his shoulder, even considering he's coming off an MVP season, which I think is nice to still have something to play for and something to prove.
This year, this is going to be the real proving grounds for Joel Embiid. He said he wants to win a championship. He said he wants to be the best in the league. Now, he's getting there. He's up there. But like you mentioned it a few minutes ago, there's still more that Joel Embiid can be. There's still more that he can tap into. What we've seen from him is not the best he can be. Definitely not. A lot of that comes from his ability to dominate. And not that he can't dominate, just there are times, and we saw it this year in the playoffs, where he's just way too passive, and that's not okay. That's not acceptable from an MVP top 5, arguably, player in the league, and a player who wants to be the best in the league. That's not acceptable. If you want to truly be the best in the league, there isn't a time where you can really take your foot off the gas pedal. And for a guy that says he wants to be the best in the league, this year in the playoffs, he certainly did not prove that. And obviously he was hurt. I get it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how hurt you are, you can't go 5 for 17 in a Game 7 elimination game while Al Horford's guarding you. He's a fossil. He's 58 years old. That's not okay. That's not okay. So this year is really, I guess you could say, a redemption year, but also in the sense of Joel Embiid really needs to not only talk and say that he wants to do this, but actually do it. He needs to actually do it. And it's going to have to be this year or never, to be honest.
Yeah. So he's obviously had an incredible career. But to go from the career he's had to that next level of stardom, whatever it is, it's going to require going past the second round in the playoffs, right? Obviously, because if we're still talking like this and he's coming off an MVP season where he scored 33 points a game, not that it doesn't matter because it's amazing, but if we don't make it out of the second round...
There's a line that has to be drawn of like, yes, it's amazing that he did that, but it can't stop there.
Right. And he's reached...
That's not where it needs... That's not where it can end.
Yeah. He has absolutely reached the top of the mountain, like, for where he's gone in the playoffs, if that makes sense. So, like...
Right.
he could have 4 more seasons averaging 30 points a game, couple more scoring titles, maybe one more MVP. But if we don't get out of the second round, his legacy is where it's at. It's not going to improve that much in a sense. Now, 4 more 30-point per game seasons, he's going to go down as one of the best ever.
The greatest player to never make it out of second round.
Right, but there's a mountain that he's on that there's a whole nother mountain, and it's talking about going deep in the playoffs. So I hope that makes some sense. I just
definitely
he's plateaued because he's done everything he can on this side of the playoffs. So another thing you wanted to dive into. So Embiid's been here, drafted in 2014, didn't play for 2 seasons, has played in 7 seasons since then, 6 of which he's been an all-star the last 6 seasons, averaging over 27 a game for his career, just insane. But he's been in Philly. He's literally known as the process, and there's been a lot that's transpired over the last number of years, with other players on this team, different coaches. He's now about to have his third head coach in this tenure. He and Korkmaz are the longest tenured Sixers.
That's insane.
He's been here a while, and a lot of stars move on. What's the question you raised is should Joel Embiid be upset with the way the last few seasons have transpired, considering the Ben Simmons situation, the James Harden situation that's present? What's your thoughts on that? You raised the question, but what's your thoughts? Should he be upset? Would he be justified? Would we be okay with it? And to what degree is it okay if he's upset? Requesting a trade, is that okay? What's the... Yeah.
So I think he should be upset. He has every right to be upset. However, the emotion should really only be directed towards a few people. There's only really a few parties involved in this. One of them being the players who are causing the issues, or the parties who are causing the issues. I won't name those players because we know who I'm talking about. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's upset with himself. And to a degree, I think he should be. At least last year. Obviously, I mentioned a few minutes ago, the injuries, he was injured in the playoffs. I understand that. But there's still some level of, okay, this is on me. I'm the best player on the team, and I did not show up. James Harden didn't, but I also didn't.
Yeah.
And as an individual player, you got to do what you can do to control the outcome of the game. And Joel Embiid did not do that. He didn't do that. And that's on him. So to a degree, he should be upset with himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do, though, understand general frustration with, dude, are you kidding me? 2 of my teammates have requested a trade twice in 2.5 seasons. How is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's frustrating because that's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about that. And there's nothing you can do to change those players' minds either. You have to just work with what the situation is giving you. So I can definitely understand some general frustration there. What I will say, though, as a positive is I feel like if it was anyone else going through this, they would have left.
Mm-hmm.
They would have requested a trade and decided that they wanted to be playing elsewhere. Joel Embiid has not done that. So I gotta say, I really commend him for sticking through not only 1 trade request, but 2 trade requests of 2-star players.
Yeah.
That has never happened before. But I feel like if it was anyone else, they would have been like, nah, I'm good. This is enough now. I'm tired of this. I'm leaving. But Joel Embiid hasn't done that. And he openly has come out and said, I don't think he openly said it, but he had a conversation with management, I believe, and said, no, I'm going to stick through with the franchise. And he's repeatedly affirmed that he wants to win a championship here. I want to win in Philly. I want to be here. I want to be for the Sixers. Anyone else, in my opinion, would have been like, I'm gone. See ya. It's been real nice, but I'm going somewhere else. So I really do applaud him for that, above all things.
Yeah, I think he hit the nail on the head. I mean, Embiid, his track record to my knowledge, is pretty flawless in the terms of loyalty and a willingness to stick it out and just being real and taking accountability. Because as you just mentioned, there's been, even you think of, series with the Celtics or regular season with the Celtics when they've had our number, he just says, "Yep, they beat us, they own us, like they've had our number." Like he's just
not a rivalry. They always beat us.
It's not a rivalry. They always beat us. Like he just, it's black and white with him, and you can just appreciate that because you can just see how that applies to what's transpired over the last couple of years with these star players wanting out, and he just, I want to win. I'm focused on winning. I like it here. He's just honest, and I think it's genuine because if it wasn't, he would have. It would have showed by now. Like you would have seen his true colors by now, and I just think, like to your point, you commend him because it is genuine. It is heartfelt. He does care. He does love the city, and I hope that continues to be what we say about him, 2, 3, or just even 1 year from now, depending on how this next season goes. You hope that that's just going to continue to be said because I hope that he's a lifelong Sixer. That we just do. I don't know that many Sixers fans that are in their right mind disagree with that because
and most Sixers fans are. Most Sixers fans are not in their right mind.
But the ones that are, I think, are on board with us.
The ones that are, yes.
So, yeah, I mean, the dude he's honest, and I think what you see is what you get. As much as he's a troll or whatever you want to call him on Twitter, Joel Embiid, he's honest. Like, you know what you're getting, and he's a no-nonsense guy. He hasn't – as many headlines have been made with the Sixers in recent memory that are, like, in the negative way. He hasn't been one of them. So
No. Agreed. 100%.
So let's just put it that way. All right. Anything else with Joel? So what's let's see. Do you have any bold predictions for him?
I mean, I said this last year, and it was in good intention. It was with a good heart. I wanted him to win Defensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. I still would like to see that. I think he can do it. He's very capable of doing that.
Yes.
It's just nowadays there's a lot of really good defenders in the NBA, especially in his position, and most of the time big men and centers, power forwards win the Defensive Player of the Year award. He's got a lot of competition. He's got guys with reputation, Giannis, Jaren Jackson at this point, Bam Adebayo, Draymond Green. They all have much better defensive reputations than him. A lot of voters vote based on reputation, so that's an issue in itself.
Right.
But also there's just guys that are better than him defensively. He's going to have a really, really... Again, he's going to have the best defensive year of his career, and that might not be enough. But I'd love to see him win Defensive Player of the Year. Again, All-NBA first team. I'd love to see him really be like a top 3 player in the league this year. Just dominate the regular season as he's been doing the past 2 years. Obviously having it translate to the playoffs. I'm praying. And the theme of this season is cautiously optimistic. So I don't want to say too much right now, but what I will say is it's going to be like legitimately Joel Embiid is going to have maybe the best season of his career. And last year was the best season of his career up until this point, but I think he's going to have to do it again times like 10. Not 10. Times like 6. Times like 6.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited for where he's going to take this team, and I mean, it appears that Harden's going to be out there next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that shakes out, but I mean, a couple guys have had some big preseasons. Kelly Oubre's played well, and Jaden Springer has played very well in the preseason. So who knows? I mean, again, are they the Bucks and are they the Celtics right now? No, probably not. But this team's going to compete, and like there's something to be excited about. Like, I mean, if you all it takes for you to be excited about a Sixers team being good is just remember the dark days and acknowledge the fact that this team is going to the playoffs. They do have potential to make some noise, and they have the best player in the league, one of the best players in the league, winning the MVP last season and looking to do it again this year. So there's some things to be optimistic about if you're a Sixers fan for sure. All right. Are you ready for this? Top 10.
Do it. I'm excited
Joel
for this.
Embiid's top 10 regular season performances in his career. Did a lot of research. I went back and forth. There were definitely some that missed the cut. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, how did that not make the cut? But this is my top 10. So
you can make your own top 10 if you want.
Yeah, I do think every 50-point game of his career is in here. But it's not, what fun would it be if I just got his top 10 scoring performances.
Right, exactly.
And made that the top 10. So it's
That'd
not
be
quite that,
variation.
but obviously each game he did score a lot of points. All right, so beginning with number 10, we'll see how many of these you as a listener and Michael, you as a co-host can remember. So December 6th of 2021, the 76ers played in Charlotte. They won by a score of 127 to 124. Embiid scored 43 on an astounding 15 for 20 from the floor, 15 boards, 7 assists. And there was a Charlotte Hornet. I'll be pretty impressed if you can get this. There was a Charlotte Hornet in that game who went for 35 on December 6, 2021. Any clue who that could have been?
Not Kemba.
No.
Jeremy Lamb.
No.
How many guesses do I get?
I'll give you 2 more, and then I'll give you one hint that'll give
guard.
it away.
Right?
He's kind of a guard.
Cody Martin.
No.
Caleb Martin?
No.
Well, let me get one more because that doesn't count. A guard. Was it Rozier?
No.
What?
He's a guard forward. He's really close to home now. Let's put it that way.
It was Kelly Oubre?
Yes.
What?
Kelly Oubre dropped 35.
This is rigged, dude. I don't remember that. Man.
He dropped 35. A game Embiid went for 43 on 75% shooting and 15 rebounds and 7 assists. Incredible.
Dude.
All right, that's number 10. Number 9 came a year later, February 12th, 2022. The Cavaliers at the Sixers. Sixers won this one by 10. Embiid's first and only 40-point triple-double. He went for 40, 14, and 10 as the Sixers beat the Cavs at home. His first and only 40-point triple-double. Number 8 on the list, February of 2020, right before COVID. Life was very different. Atlanta Hawks at the Sixers. Sixers win this one by 17. Embiid went for a then career high of 49 points. And again, when he goes for like 45 plus, he's incredibly efficient. He had 49 on 17 of 24. 17 of 24 and 14 rebounds in that one as the Sixers won that one going away. Number 7, January 19th of 2022. The Orlando Magic and the Sixers. Sixers won this one by 13. Embiid, 50 ball this past season. 53 points, 20 of 32, 11 of 11 from the free throw line, 12 boards, and 3 assists. 50 points for Embiid. And then February 19th, 2021, we're now in the top 5. Number 5, Embiid's first, I remember watching this one for sure, as with most of these, Embiid's first 50-point game at the hands of the Chicago Bulls. This was a tight game. Sixers only won 112 to 105, but Embiid dropped 50 on 17 of 26, 15 of 17 free throws, 17 boards, 5 assists, 4 blocks, and 2 steals. What a stat line. 50, 17, 5, 4, and 2 as the Sixers win that one at home by 7. All right. We're in the top 4. 3 of these are from last season, and one of them is from way back.
Okay.
Way back. All right. Number 4, Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets came to town January 28th. Sixers won this one in a wild one. They were down 15 at half. Ended up winning by 7. Embiid dropped 47, 18 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Jokic had 24, 9, 8, and 7 turnovers. Do you remember that one?
Of course I remember that one. Fantastic game.
That was a fun one. Down 15 to come all the way back, and Embiid was unstoppable.
That really was.
All right.
Even Embiid aside, he had a huge role in that game. Obviously, that was a great game. That was a really awesome game.
A lot of fun. I think it was on ABC. That was a lot of fun. All right, top 3. So late regular season last year, Celtics at Sixers. Sixers win by 2. Joel Embiid. This one could have been 1 or 2, but it's number 3. 52 points, 20 for 25. 20 for 25 from the field, 12 of 13 from the line, 13 boards, 6 assists. It was his third 50-point game of the season. After the game, again, late season, Doc Rivers was like, well, MVP race is now over. As Joel Embiid dropped 52 on the Celtics. It was his 9th 40-point, 10-rebound game of the season. I mean, that's nuts. Considering he missed significant time. He played, I think, 66 games. And 9 of those he went for 40 and 10. Absolutely nuts. All right, this one. This might be my favorite Joel Embiid memory. All right, okay. This is in the Wayback Machine to 2017. 2017.
That is the Wayback Machine.
It is. Joel Embiid's second year, early in the second year, November 15th, Sixers made a trip to the Staples Center, and the Sixers beat the Lakers 115-109. This was Joel Embiid's first. I mean, he averaged 20 as a rookie, but this was like his first incredibly this guy is for real, and he did it at the Staples Center. He's him. This was the Joel Embiid he's him game, and he dropped 46 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 blocks on 14 of 20 from the field and 16 of 19 from the free throw line. Joel Embiid's coming out party at the Staples Center, incredible. That game was nuts. They couldn't be stopped. I was watching in my dorm room. It was. I remember exactly where I was, and that was. I mean, keep in mind they're coming off a couple seasons that were just brutal. You would never think we're going to go out west and beat the Lakers, and we did. And Joel Embiid, and then we ended up making the playoffs that year. So that was, to me, that was the start of all right, we got something really special here. Anyway, enough about that. You might guess where number 1's going to be this past season, November 13th, 2022, Jazz at Sixers. Sixers won by 7. Embiid's career high, 59 points.
I wish he got 60, man.
He could have if he didn't miss 4 free throws, 20 for 24 from the free throw line. So close to 60. He was 19 for 28 from the field. But not just that. He had 11 boards, he had 8 assists, and he had 7 blocks. So these top 2 performances, in my opinion, because he did it on the defensive end, 7 blocks in each of these 2 games, 5 years apart, almost to the day, 59 points. And I didn't when I was doing my research, I might have forgot this. I guess he scored 26 of the Sixers' 27 points in the fourth quarter. 26 out of 27. Generational talent, generational game. If you part of this, I was kind of just, some of these games I was like, all right, I know that's going to be in the top 10, but one of them, you just Google Embiid's top game, that was it. There was a no-brainer what this
I
was going to be.
remember that entire evening after, too.
Yeah.
I think we actually recorded that night.
We probably did,
considering it was it was literally historic. I mean, that was one of the best games I've seen from anybody at any point in my NBA viewing.
Yep, and the all-time numbers back it up. So he became the first player in NBA history with 50 points, 10 rebounds, 10 boards, 5 assists, 5 blocks in a game since blocks became an official stat in 1973. So an all-time performance for sure. First one ever to do that. But that is Joel Embiid's number 1 performance of all time. A couple things that stuck out to me in doing that. One, Sixers won all of those games. Two, his efficiency from the field was just incredible. A lot of those games, 60, 70, 80% from the field on a high volume. Getting to the line a lot, of course, but doing it on both ends too. So, do you have for me though, number 2 on my list, the Lakers game in 2017 is my favorite Joel Embiid game memory. Do you have one that's either on that list or something else that's your favorite Embiid memory?
Did you mention this past year with the Clippers game when Harden had 20 and 20 and Embiid had 40 and 20?
That was close. It was like a honorable mention.
I forget how well he did on Christmas Day. The Christmas Day Knicks game. I know James Harden played really well, but those two I would definitely put somewhere on that list.
Yeah.
Definitely that Lakers game. Definitely. And did you mention his first 50-piece against Chicago?
Yeah.
Yes, that's definitely on there too. And obviously the November game this past year.
Yep.
Man, just this is the kind of thing kind of bringing everything full. I mean, you can add anything else if you want, but kind of just bring everything full circle. This is why we want Joel Embiid to succeed so badly. He's a player that we're never going to see again. He's a player that is quite literally one of one, and a player that up until this point we've never seen before. You could draw comparisons to Hakeem Olajuwon all you want, but the things this guy does on the court at the height, size, and stature that he is, you don't see this. You're not going to see this at any other point in NBA history either. We want him to succeed so badly at an individual level, but also for the team that he plays for. And this year is going to be really huge for that.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll say the other thing I noticed in doing this, there could have been probably 7 games against the Charlotte Hornets that I could have put on here. Joel Embiid plays very well against the Charlotte Hornets. Very well. I think he's on here. I think 2 of the 10 are against the Hornets, but he has a 43-point game on 75% shooting and a 53-point game, and probably a couple other 40s. So he likes to play against the Hornets.
He shows up specifically for the Hornets.
All right. So Joel Embiid episode in the books, episode 108. Hey, we'll be for sure to get another episode out before the start of the regular season. Tips off next week, and it's going to be a great run. 2023-2024 Sixers are on their way, and we hope you will continue to join us on Planet 76 as we get ready for it. So, again, subscribe, whatever platform you're on, and then send us an email, planet76podcast@gmail.com, and you have a chance to be entered to win a Planet 76 t-shirt on the house, free 99, and it's coming your way if you win. So, pretty cool. All right, we'll talk to you later. Peace. If you are a Philadelphia 76ers fan, this is the podcast for you. Planet 76, a weekly podcast covering all things Philadelphia 76ers. We'll see you next time.